So stick around. There's wisdom. I promise you this will change your life. This changed my life. And that's what I'm going to bring to you guys. I'm going to be taking notes again on this video that I've seen a million times. But it's inspired me so many times that I'm like, I've got to see this one again. I've got to see it again. So the video I wanted to react to was one of these ones here. I think it was it was this video here. So there's a bit of a cult here, and there's a bit of, I want to say conspiracy. It's not conspiracy. There's a bit of spirituality and a bit of new age spirituality. Some theories put forward by X, you know, the rapper, rest in peace. If you don't know him, if you never heard his music, legend, changed my life, changed millions of lives before he left. He has a son that he blessed to the world called XXXTENTACIon. I'm sure you've you know, heard it on, you know, the Kanye collab, that song that, you know, they say XXXTENTACIon, they mention his name and they say that your father's still here, you know. I'm not one to obsess over dead artists or dead people, but when someone came to this, you know, to this world and genuinely left with such a positive message, I'm there thinking they could have given out any message, bro. They could have given out any message, literally, but they chose to leave something positive and to leave a positive impact, and that's why we're gonna react to this shit. This video definitely changed my life, and I hope it changes your guys' life. There's a lot of concepts discussed here. I will break it down if you don't know what's going on. But there is spiritual insight here. At the time, he genuinely felt limited. He felt like he couldn't put the message forward in a clear way, because obviously, if you speak the truth, there's consequences. And some people make the theory that the reason why he was killed was because of the things that he talked about. You know, he spoke against the system and he died. So, but this is not what we're going to discuss. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is just the message that he gave before he left. And just hear this out. Just stick to the stream. Change your life.
Sometimes that when you're prejudged or you're judged.
And if you feel like you can't stick around, question why you can't stick around, bro. I'm telling you, I've got something amazing that will change your life. I'm not even promising you anything, but I said, you know, I am the proof. I'm the living proof. You know, this made me want to go after my dreams. This could change your life. So stick around. Forget about that ADHD brain that you developed because of TikTok and all of that shit, or the way I look, or my words, or, you know, my name, or fuck all that. Yeah. If you clicked on the stream, there's something within you that wants to explore more. Stick around and see where the rabbit hole goes.
Judged based on something you've done in your past, it sometimes feels like it's almost impossible to outlive it.
According to who? That's the real question. According to who? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not living to...
According to who? A lot of times you hear people in your family or friends make comments about you, or you feel like you make comments about yourself. But according to who? Who came up with that viewpoint, with that perspective, with that conclusion? Because at the end of the day, you are not that conclusion. You are not that what they say you are. You are who you choose to be. Genuinely. I believe that. So, by that I mean, let's say the world is saying, you know, you lack dreams, or you have no aspiration, you have no ambition. Well, first of all, they don't know you, but let's say they say, you're misunderstood, or whatever they say. Let's say they say something about you. Does it make it true? Is their statement true just because they've said it? No. I had someone say to me at work, why are you so serious all the time? And I was like, I'm not serious all the time. That is factually incorrect. Because I'm laughing around most of the time. But sometimes you see me, I am serious, because I take my job serious, and I've really, when I'm there at my job, in the school, I want to make a difference, and that's how I feel. That's how I am. But what they said wasn't really true. So I was like, according to who? According to you, you're the only person that's ever said this to me, and I was like, all right, cool. Like, what do you want me to do about that? So at the end of the day, you have to know that you're in control, and their statements or whatever they say, look, there might be some truth to it, but at the same time, it could just be a statement made by someone. Doesn't mean that it's true. But I love this mentality of according to who? According to who? Who said you can't achieve your dreams? Who said you can't do this? Who said you are this bad person, or you are this lazy person, or whatever negative that you hear about yourself, or whatever negative that you say about yourself? Who said that shit? Because it didn't come from you, it didn't come from God, and it doesn't align with anything that is of higher goodness or higher morality. It's bringing you down instead of lifting you up. Think about that.
Ideally impress anyone. I'm living my whole goal throughout the human race, for that matter, is to watch everybody evolve. You get what I'm saying? For the human race in itself, or the human mind, to evolve, because that's the whole process from
By the way, if you see me look down, I'm writing down notes. So yeah,
birth.
if you want to grab a notepad and make notes for yourself, go ahead.
From your 1 years old, all you do is evolve. Your understanding and your grasp only evolves. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The more you know, the more you understand, is the more you're able to do. The more power you have. Knowledge is power. They don't want you to have knowledge at this point in time. That's why the New World Order is here. That's why they have all these fucking distractions to keep you from enlightening yourself. Self-enlightenment is the key. I can't say too much. I won't say too much.
Right.
To get myself into some shit. But self-enlightenment is a key. I'm only going to say anything that goes around the Buddhist way of life. You get what I'm saying? I relevate it towards...
So he discussed this. I think he's the only person I've heard say this, and I was in the spiritual space for a bit, and I was in the self-improvement space for a bit. I am in that educational space a lot, on YouTube, on podcasts, on everything. But he's the only one that I've heard say that his idea of the New World Order, right, is that it's come through the form of technology and phones and distractions, media, TV shows, you name it. I'm sure you've heard this before. Television, telling lies to your vision. So what he's mentioning here is not only you're receiving programming through these devices, and this is not me even making a conspiracy theory, just look at it for what it is. Your phone is programming you to be depressed half the time. If you look at social media, it's definitely programming you to spike up your anxiety or bring down your anxiety, pulling different strings within your neurological responses. This is not a this is a fact, and everyone knows this. I mean, you've heard the great CEOs of companies of Google and Apple say that we don't give our phones or devices to our kids, but yet the age that they offer their services at is 13. So if you genuinely think about it, and then obviously kids younger than that use technology, why is this phone, why is this screen so distracting? Why is it so? It pulls you away from your creative passion. It pulls you away from your creative source, and what are you left with? You're left as a robot, consuming, as a sheep. And this is not me just making things up. Look at your life. The times that you've been the most lost, you've been the most depressed, is when you've lost yourself in technology, and you've been genuinely addicted and hooked to these devices. But the times that you've been at your happiest or your most functional and productive is when you stayed away from that shit. So his concept of the New World Order was that it's come through the form of technology. I definitely agree. So that's why I'm super wary of my phone, Instagram, YouTube, all these platforms. By the way, I compare Instagram I think Instagram is as addictive as heroin or any other drug. This concept of ranking addictions and saying one is healthy and one isn't is definitely not true, because I genuinely think Instagram does more damage psychologically than something like heroin would. Heroin would cause damage physiologically, and obviously it would eventually turn into psychologically as well, for sure. But what I would say is, let's say something like Instagram. By having Instagram, you're instantly comparing yourself to the world, to how your friends are doing, how Kai Cenat is doing, what Speed is doing, what Ronaldo is doing. Why do we need to know about all of this? All of this information, where's it going? What is it causing within our brains? Well, it's making you unhappy. And it's distracting you from you pursuing your own dreams and your own goals, while they pursue their dreams and goals and they share it online. So, this is what you talked about, and this is something that you should be careful of. So, the new world order, the world of tech, the world of media. Don't believe what is feeding you. I think I wrote a poem about this when I was 13. And this poem was so insightful. I still have it to this day. And I wrote this at 13. At 13, I knew more than 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, 60-year-olds. I knew how destructive this technology thing is going to be. And now we're seeing the effects. I see the effects at my job. I work with kids, secondary school kids. Their brains are genuinely fried. They have no aspiration, no dreams, no ability to stick to a task, no ability to focus. Yeah, I'm worried. I'm genuinely worried.
Where's that? Because that's already out there, so nobody can come target me for something that's already out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
The Buddhist way of life
Right.
teaches you, you know what I'm saying? That all right, the more you dwell into the human mind, right? You understand that there are different realms of thought, right? There are 9 dimensions. So when we go all the way down to Egyptian times, right? I want you to look, like, even let's even relevate the current currency of the U.S., right? We're currently in the United States, correct? Where is the pyramid? Where are the pyramids?
In Africa.
In Africa, right? So why is the African pyramid on the U.S. currency if it has nothing to do with the United States? Why is it?
It's a good point.
Nobody. So when you think about the all-seeing eye and the pyramid on the back, right? And I'm gonna explain this in a less.
It's right in front of your eyes. It's genuinely, you got to question it. Why is it on the dollar, right? And what is the all-seeing eye? These are the things you should be looking up. You should understand what's right in front of you. The simplest of things. Probably millions and millions of Americans use the dollar, but they don't understand what's right in front of them. So obviously the pyramid is supposed to symbolize higher order and a hierarchy within society, and those at the top have control and eye over everything. They see everything and they have power over everything, and those at the bottom are simply feeding into the hierarchy. X's suggestion in terms of climbing the hierarchy, becoming more successful, becoming more powerful, becoming more wealthy, more knowledgeable, is, in his answer or in his words, is raising your creativity, increasing your creativity and tapping into your creativity. I genuinely agree with that. Look at artists, creative. Look at musicians, creative. Look at actors, creative. Look at entrepreneurs, people like Elon Musk and people like Steve Jobs, creative. So we live in a world where creativity is rewarded in proportion to the kind of solution that you offer to the world. And obviously it's got to do with numbers and attention and sales. But Those that are most creative will get rewarded much more than others. That's why you see paintings that you would see as not creative, like a splash of paint, get sold for billions of dollars. Is because this is the world that we live in. The person who's become that artist has climbed that hierarchy by their creativity and got rewarded through their products. They created something that is of value and they brought it into the world. So this was his idea of how to become successful, is becoming more creative, and thinking with the mind and not with the body, and escaping this cycle of slavery.
Controversial way.
And he said that the slavery isn't physical anymore, it's mental and spiritual. And I definitely agree with that. This is a concept that was also discussed within Fight Club. The fact that we're fighting a spiritual war. It's not a physical war anymore. I am a genuine believer in that, and I've experienced it. And everything in my life has pointed towards that. So I continue to hold that belief. Is it beneficial? Yes. Is it depressing? Yes. But it helps free you. It helps free you from losing yourself in this made up world.
You know what I'm saying? To not get myself into some shit. I'll explain it in a simple way that's not gonna bottle or like get anybody fucking riled up. The eye on the top of the top of the pyramid, right, is what they call ideally the third eye. I don't want to dwell into that too much, but the third eye ideally is the human mind. So the more you think about it, the way to get yourself up the pyramid scheme is to use your fucking brain, bro. The more creative or innovative you become, the more you study, the more time you take to really dwell into your mind rather than the world outside of your mind, is the more you unlock. So like the people who have photographic memory, like nobody realizes how much the brain is really fucking capable of, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you can do some real crazy shit, bro.
Yeah, you can.
You can do some real crazy fucking shit, bro. Like all right, photographic memory. I don't have photographic memory, but somebody do. You know what I'm saying?
That's so true. You don't know what you're capable of. You don't know what you can genuinely achieve. You've never genuinely applied all of your mind, all of your life force to anything. There's so much of you that you haven't experienced. There's so much of you that you haven't unraveled. And there's all this potential. But think about it genuinely. We are not using our brains and our bodies and our life force to the fullest. We're wasting it through social media. We're wasting it through distractions. And that's why I feel like most people are genuinely stagnating in their lives. And they don't have a higher sense of meaning or purpose. Or they offer no value to the world. And I used to think, who am I to judge other people in terms of if someone offers value to the world or not? But eventually you grow to despise that, because you think that all this potential, yet nothing. And that's a scary sight. That's what I believe personally. What do you guys think?
Or like the people that dream, you enter a whole different realm.
Mm-hmm.
A whole different realm of thought. You get what I'm saying? So when you really think about it, when you leave this realm of thought, where do you go? When you dream, where are you?
So that's the dimensions.
That's the difference between this realm and others. Mm-hmm. Now there's different realms. There's at least 9, and there's even animals that can see in all 9 realms or all 9 dimensions, like the snake, for example, or the cat. That you see the equivalency of their eyes. You know what I'm saying? They see all 9 dimensions. Like, get a cat, bring him to the house, set him in the middle of the floor, and you'll know if you got ghosts running around your house. Because the cat will look like cat. You'll notice that. You see how cats look around because they see everything. They're not looking at nothing, but they're.
This is the only part which I don't directly agree with him on, because I don't believe in ghosts. And I don't believe in the 9 realms of Buddhism that he's talking about. Now, there's immortal life. Yes. Do we know that? I mean, do we know this spiritual aspect of life fully? No. It's no one's ever fully figured it out. It's something that I am trying to grasp, but no matter what I do, I can't. Um, was he able to figure it out? No. The mystery, in my opinion, is what makes life meaningful. This is a concept talked about in Taoism a lot. But the mystery isn't easy to live with because us humans, we like definitive answers and we like definitive measures in terms of why am I here, or is there a God? We would like these answers to be answered, and we don't like uncertainty as humans. It really messes with our survival instincts. It genuinely triggers survival anxiety in a way. So I heard Zerka talk about this death anxiety that we experience, and that's why I see young people end themselves, or it's because of this death anxiety and this uncertainty, especially during your teenage years, because you don't know who you are, your character's developing, your hormones are all over the place. You're realistically waking up to the fact that to live is to die, but at the same time your childhood is dying, and adulthood is approaching, but it's too much. It's too much for the most part. Um, but how you deal with that developmental process and the kind of life that you live during that time will determine most of your adulthood. I definitely believe that. Not that it is something that will limit you, but it will outline or shape the future that you live, especially between the age of 16 to 21, I would say. Even earlier than that for most people. For me, it was 13. So from 13 till I would say 19 for me. That was the time where I was going through all these changes. I didn't go through I would say I didn't fully lose my mind, but I had things pop up in the way in the mental plane, mental battles that I fought, which I was able to overcome. It wasn't an easy task, but it was part of. I realized later that it's part of death anxiety combined with all this developmental changes that we're going through. But yeah, back to the video. Yeah, I don't really believe in what he's talking about here, but the rest of the stuff, genuine gems, like just gems, just straight gems.
They're looking at something that's in a different dimension
Right.
that you can't see.
And they have that capability versus us.
Exactly. What we have is called the naked eye. But see, you can evolve. You can evolve as a person. You can evolve as a mind. You know what I'm saying? You can evolve physically or mentally or spiritually. It just depends on what you want to meditate on or what you want to practice. You know what I'm saying? Now, that's just a way of life. That's a way of thought. Now, the more you upgrade and evolve in your mind, bro, you won't even give a fuck about none of this shit, bro. And I'm trying to get to that point where I don't give a fuck.
He's talking about the state of non-detachment, or enlightenment, which a lot of people talk about, or in Buddhism, the state which nirvana, which you stop caring, or you get rid of your attachments. This is really common in Eastern philosophy. Is it easy to achieve? No. It can be achieved through the lives of, through living as a monk. Cutting your hair, completely separating yourself from society, getting rid of all your internal desires and dreams. Do I believe that is the end goal? I don't know, but sometimes I dream of that life, weirdly enough, because I genuinely see that all of this is fake. It's really fake and it's all made up. And I question if I could seek and explore and find those deeper answers that I'm looking for through this state of non-detachment, which Eastern philosophers and spiritual mystics talked about. Is it true, really? Because they've done studies on the minds of monks, and they brought one of them in, and they studied their minds during meditation, and the brain waves that they saw was much different to the average person. So clearly there is a shift in the physiology, while also to them is in the spiritual experience. But there's so much that we don't know. There's so much that we don't know. the moment that you say, I don't know, is the moment you start uncovering so much.
Fuck about none of this shit, bro. I don't give a fuck about anybody, bro. And I mean it. Like, I'm trying to evolve past caring for anyone. And I say that in a non-disrespectful way.
Or selfish, yeah.
I'm gonna be able to teach people that, and then I'm gonna be able to pull the few people out of this realm of slavery.
It's such a shame that we didn't get to see everything that he was gonna bring to the world in terms of all the spiritual truths that he was bringing, all the great messages that he was bringing. He was saying, you know, if you got negative people in your life, if you've got negative habits, if you're, you got all this anger, how to deal with it, because he went through a lot, and he was eventually able to overcome it. And it's just such a shame that as soon as he started talking and bringing a good message to the world, that he was killed. And look at all the other rappers. He said that he didn't care if he was labeled as the crazy rapper, or he lost his music deals or whatever. He said that his message was the most important thing, and that just showed the type of person he was. And he talked about concepts like loyalty, and these concepts to me there's so much honor behind it that it's the reason why I want to do this streaming thing, and the reason why I want to succeed in life. Not because of X per se, but the feeling of honor, the feeling of success, the feeling of goodness, the feeling of greatness. These are the things that really I admire, and I've experienced glimpses of it in different points in my life. But obviously the ideal would be, I don't think there's an end goal to life, but to reach and fulfill those dreams. Because eventually what will happen is, once you fulfill those dreams, there'll be more dreams that fill you up, and that's the human psyche. I think the human psyche has this eternal kind of like chip or like hole which can never be filled, and most people say it's filled with love. I agree for the most part, because when you're experiencing love, you're whole, you're complete. But even love is fleeting, so yeah, it's a weird thing to face. That's what I would say.
Flavor, you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm trying to get to. You know what I'm saying? I want to reach that self-enlightenment, or that amount of power, to where I can save the whole human race and move forward, and show them that the wars and the fucking wars of the religion and the races and everything, and just the controversy and everything in the media.
Where did this all come from? Tell us something that like we don't know about X. Like, where did this come from? What birthed this spirit in you, and this acknowledgement and this desire to want to, like, feed yourself with information and knowledge and search for all these different things? What birthed that?
I feel like I'm from the moon, bro. Real shit. Like, when I was born, bro, I wanted to die, fool. Like, when I came,
This part I don't understand, but I think that's got to do with the death anxiety thing that I explained. I don't think he knew about this concept at the time. He was 19 when he passed away. Obviously I've had a few years on him. He would be much older now if he was alive. I don't know how old. I think he would be 26, 27. Something along those lines, maybe, I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, the thing of like wanting to die as a kid is got to do with death anxiety. It's quite an interesting thing, and I never genuinely heard about it or understood it until I was like 23, bro, which is fucking mind-boggling. Like, why don't we learn about these truths when we're younger? It would make our life so much easier, genuinely.
Bro, it was weird to say, like now I know it. That when I was born, I'm like, fuck, I'm back again. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's how I felt. I've always felt that way. Like, fuck, I'm back again in this fucking like realm of slavery. Cause that's what this fucking is, bro. Like, everything is slavery, no matter how we look at it. You just joined the system, bro. You just joined the system. From working the fucking, like, from going to school, bro. Like, all right, we gonna start a program, right? We gonna start a program. I'm gonna really, your movement and my movement, we gonna really take that shit somewhere.
Yeah.
And start doing experiments. I'm gonna really dwell into politics and science, but Like from the minute I was in school, bro. Like it's funny because I went from school to jail. You know what I'm saying? And there's no difference, bro. There's no fucking difference, bro. There's no difference because you're still a slave. You're still a slave and you're still not free, and they're still consuming your time. Because the minute bro.
Why do we feel that? Why does the majority of people on this planet feel like their time or their life essence is being consumed by the jobs, by this 9-to-5 system that Henry Ford designed in the 1900s. The system is clearly outdated, but it's the system of slavery. It's just giving you enough so you're satisfied and so you don't complain, and just enough so you keep going. I genuinely don't like the system. I work in a state school, so my funding comes through that. I'm grateful for it. It helps pay the bills, but most of the time it genuinely feels so outdated, and I don't know if I'm a firm believer in education, the education system per se, and this is why I believe in being able to self-teach and to self-educate. Most people don't even learn that, or they don't think that it's important because it's just forced to you. They never tell you to go and study what you want to study. No, study this. You've got to study this. This is this is slavery, basically. This is what it is. It's telling you what to do. It's telling you when you can take a break. It's telling you when you can eat. It's telling you when you can speak. It's telling you when you can work. It's telling you, bro, what the fuck? How many rules are you gonna give me, bro? Do I even have freedom to be me? So this is the shit that I genuinely believe in. Is this realm of slavery is factual. And the way that you can free yourself, I think you genuinely gain more freedom as you climb the hierarchy, that we spoke about. And this is why it's so important to learn from everyone and everything. XXX probably was the last person that I've ever thought I was going to learn from. But so much wisdom. So much wisdom.
The minute you realize time is the most important thing, even though time don't exist, time is the most important thing. Nothing else matters. As long as you got time, you good. As long as you're not like 80-something and you're on the verge of death, you're good, bro. As long as you don't got no sickness, you're good. So the whole point was, when I was born and I was growing up, I just knew, bro. It's hard to say. I just knew. And I was always a rebel, bro. Like, you guys, I wish I would have brought my mom in here. I was always bad. I was always like, fuck anything that don't matter to me, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's good to support that strong mind, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes it can get them into trouble that they don't want to get into. But sometimes that is what they need to build them.
Well, the system's not built to really grow that.
Exactly.
So that's why it's looked at as outcast. Because even in my younger days, what they call now is ADD and ADHD. To me, it was just, I was a class clown.
I was just hyper,
I
nigga.
couldn't focus. I was hyper.
They
you know what I mean?
Put names on everything.
Right, but now we see that most of the people who work.
This is the thing. I work in a school. But my role is mentoring. I never judge them. I never judge them for when they mess around or when they do this, because I understand. I've been in their shoes. And this is the thing. The teachers don't inspire, they don't build, they don't provide passion, and the kids never look up to their teachers. Luckily, I had one teacher that I looked up to, but it was not because of the subject. It was because of who she was. She was this amazing person that genuinely cared, that taught me discipline, that taught me the value of, setting yourself right and standing upright and doing things the right way. There's no role models. We live as a generation with no role models, and that is so scary. If you don't have a role model, you're going to be an end product of everything that is out in the world, whether it's media, tech, you name it. And that's why these kids come to school, and a lot of them don't have any, they don't have an original personality of themselves. It's just they are a reflection of the social media and the tech, and I see it within many of them. But and even the home life is so this it's just not there. And who would these kids become, you know? The weird thing is, my generation and their generation is not so different. I'm not so different from them. I'm so like, I went through the same things, but at least I had a few role models. At least I had a decent home life. And understand, like, it's impossible to have the perfect life in terms of for every kid. But man, when their role model is, I don't know, it's a weird streamer like Neon, who the fuck are they gonna become? And recently I saw a video, I think it was Zerka's stream. Again, I watched a bunch of his stuff, but he was doing an interview with this ego who had a dominatrix relationship with this guy. And that guy was a complete slave to her. My question is, what made him become that? And it was the scariest. I was like, what is wrong with the world? What has the world become? No dignity, no shame, no honor. This is depressing. This is just, what are we gonna do, man?
Class clowns, hyperactive, ADHD, the most talented people we have
They
on
have
this earth.
personalities. They want you to be a fucking robot. They want you to be a drone. They want, bro, no.
Yeah, the kids that I coach, they have ADHD, they have, you know, all of these qualities that people, or the school mislabel as bad traits, but I just see them as, oh, they have personality, they have a mind of themselves, they have a strong will. And a lot of times, my first session with them is outlining the strengths. And I tell them all of these things like, oh, you are a leader, you would like to be a leader, you would like to be in control, you are confident. And they're like, sir, how do you know all of this? Like, no teacher understands me. They just see me as a nuisance. And so, like, when these kids are misunderstood and they get these labels, you know, a lot of them start to believe it. A lot of them think they're not smart. Well, being smart isn't everything. Being intelligent isn't everything. Everyone has different gifts and talents. So,
No offense to overweight America. No offense. And I'm not talking about the people that obviously are naturally overweight. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking to people that were about a normal size and then got overweight because they didn't want to do anything with their lives. They wanted to sit down, dwell into the media, watch fucking movies, eat popcorn, and not do anything for themselves. You know what I'm saying? That didn't want to dwell into that. If you're doing something with your life, you know what I'm saying? Kudos. You know what I'm saying? But they want you to sit in front of the media, feed money. You know what I'm saying? They want you to buy the new Apple iPhone. They want you, bro, they don't want you to think for yourself.
they don't want you to evolve. They don't want you to exactly think for yourself. And when someone doesn't think for themselves, they are so much easier to control. You don't even understand. And this is what the education system programs you to do. Don't think for yourself. Just listen to what we tell you to do. This is so scary. And I was definitely programmed in many ways by the education system. I benefited from it in different ways. But I still had a mind of my own. And I never gave up my personality. I never gave up who I was. But to a certain extent, I am a product of the educational programming or system that I received, which is so outdated. And it's, you know what's crazy? So kids go to school, they follow a 9-to-5 system. The parents go to work and they follow a 9-to-5 system. And it's a constant cycle. You know, the kids grow up back to the 9-to-5 system. And they send their kids to the 9-to-5. The system isn't efficient. The system isn't effective. Yeah. Isn't that weird? You know, this 9-to-5 system hasn't changed for hundreds of years. The education system hasn't changed for hundreds of years.
Self.
Point blank.
Why is
Fucking period.
Gosh, X, I could talk to you for another hour. We've been talking for 45 minutes. I mean, I don't know if we could set up where we can do something like on a consistent basis, where we can, you know, like on a podcast level.
Whatever you want to do, brother. Because
You know?
I'll talk about this shit 24/7. Guess what, bro?
But this is good stuff, and I think, like, again, my goal and your goal, they're in line in the sense that, you know, I feel like I want to reach back and be able to connect with you and others like you. You know what I mean? And this gives me that opportunity, that platform to do that. You know, and we can talk about politics, and we could talk about life, and we could talk about, you know, personal things and stuff like that.
This is what the radios need to be doing instead of talking about Beyonce left the house and motherfucking heels while she was pregnant. Who gives a fuck?
Truth be told,
I don't give a fuck. I don't.
And
I
neither
fuck
do
with
I.
Beyonce, but I don't give a fuck.
How many people saw this video? 84K. Yeah.
You feel me? But this what y'all want to talk about, bro?
I've seen this video more than 10 times. That's how, like, pivotal this video was for me. Just one single video, one single interview.
I don't want to talk about that shit. I want to talk.
This is the power of words. This is the power of your energy, your life force. You can shift. You can genuinely change the world. You can. I believe.
About why the fuck did that nigga kill Eric Garner? Or why the fuck did that white man kill?
Yo, what's good, YouTube? I hope you guys enjoyed that video. The rest of it was cut out because I was on the live stream and I ended up getting distracted. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed that video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate you guys, and you can find more of my content on Live, on Kick, and yeah, I do all sorts of content on there, so join up, follow up, and all the links will be in the description. I really appreciate you guys, and thank you guys for watching.